In this digital world, nothing is real. There is no prize. There is no winning. There is no light at the end of the tunnel. But that is okay. Hello everyone, my name is Zero and welcome back to Zero Opinions. Today, I wanted to talk about the amazing digital circus, as the last episode will be coming out this year, both on YouTube and in theaters. But before I get to that, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for how long this video took to come out. When I first started working on this video, I had a job. Shortly thereafter, I didn't have a job. So then I was looking for a job, and then I got another job and lost it in the same day. So I've been streaming more. Follow my Twitch, Mother_0 on Twitch. And it's been a lot. And then I look at my calendar, and I only have like less than a month to get this video out before we get all the answers in theaters. So here I am, working on this video as fast as I can, rewatching the show for the 200th time to make sure my point comes across. So sit back, relax, and let me tell you why it's okay that there is no escape. So really, this is the last chance to make any theories about the show before we get our conclusion. All of the pieces coming together this June. So let's take one last crack at the puzzle. However, I'm going to let you know now, I think the ending is going to be a lot more somber than most expect. Let's get into it. In episode 1, it is shown time and time again that there is no real exit.
I swear I saw it.
Digital hallucinations! Get out of here before the moon gets frisky!
Wait, what's that?
Whoa, clean up on aisle U!
Right, boss.
Why are you like this?
Wait, was that an exit door I saw out there? Is that a way to leave?
What exit? If there was a way to leave, I'm pretty sure we'd have all left by now. Yeah, what are you talking about?
I assure you, there is no magical exit door. You're probably just experiencing digital hallucinations from your...
And while Caine is lying in this moment, we see later on in this very episode that there really is no escape. More on Caine lying in a moment. When Caine says that she is going to get spoils, he is talking about a future adventure. Also, more on that later. But the other main theme of this episode is those who seek the exit end up losing their mind in the process. That seeking an unattainable goal will drive you crazy.
Exit does exist?
Could also mean you just have a jump start and losing your mind.
About the adventures? Why even go on them at all? Why not try to find a way to leave?
Well, we usually do when we first arrive, but after a while you start to realize that you really can't leave, and constantly chasing an unattainable goal will start driving you a bit crazy. And eventually you get to asking what the point of anything is, and you completely lose sight of who you are and why you're even alive, and when you reach your breaking point, something really terrible can happen.
Take this headset off!
Just keep grabbing at it. That worked for all of us.
Leave?
Well, don't freak out about it or anything, but, we don't exactly...
You can't.
What?
But it's once we get to episode 2 that I think this whole thing gets cracked wide open. Enter Gummy Goo. Falling into the out of bounds area, I think this one scene tells us the entire plot of the amazing digital circus. You find out that everything around you isn't real. Your memories, your name, your body, all of it is made up by this AI overlord, and it drives you insane. But then you have Pomni, the comfort to Gummy Goo, the friend he needs to not just lose his little AI mind. He found comfort, a friend, and eventually, he got the strength to stand back up, despite the fact that none of it is real. He and Pomni found a way to leave this out-of-bounds area, meeting up with the others, but then Pomni makes a mistake. He invites him to leave for real. He gives him an exit. And what happens?
Hamburgers!
So this is the circus, huh? I gotta get used to this.
Oh, looks like one of these guys made it through.
Wait, what?
Pop. This is the entire story of the circus. A story that has no happy ending, just good friendship. You enter the circus, no memories, new body, surrounded by people who are exactly like you. So you find a way to be friends with those people, building the only real thing, a relationship, friendship, companionship for one another.
Friend. You're a strange little character.
Episode 3 carries this message with both Pomni and Kinger, but also with Zubul and Caine, and I have a whole section ready for the mess that is Caine.
My name is Caine.
But let's start with Kinger and Pomni. There is one conversation I want to focus on. Kinger telling Pomni, the worst thing you can do is make someone feel like they are unwanted or unloved. And hold my hand. We can get through this together. Kinger is a man of wisdom, a former creator of the AI known as Caine. But in front of all that wisdom is trauma. Trauma only taken away by the darkness. Trauma over the ones he's lost. Over the time he has spent alone. But instead of abstracting, instead of giving up, when Ragatha shows up to the circus, he still shows care. He tells her everything is going to be okay, even if there is no way out. And now he is doing the same here for Pomni. She will be okay as long as he is there. And that is how it was. Let's swap back over to Caine and Zubul. While the conversation starts with Zubul having problems with her body, it switches over to how lonely and useless Caine feels that none of his guests like the things he is making them do. He simply can't understand why they aren't happy with him anymore. Even more on that later. Now let's talk about episode 4, the Everybody Hates Gangle episode. This episode also introduces the suggestion box, which will become a bigger problem later. But let's get into the fast food torture and talk about Gangle. But unfortunately, she's the villain in this episode, going on a managerial power trip as soon as she has the power to do so, causing everyone around her to be a little less than nice to her. Except Zubul and Pomni. Well, I guess that just leaves Jax and Ragatha, huh? But it's the way they go about it. They mentally break her in a way that this new mask won't show. This plastic mask won't break, but it still hurts to be told you aren't wanted.
I like you better when you're sad.
No offense, but you're kind of annoying when you have your happy mask. Wait, is that mean to say?
By the end of the shift, Jax tells her how awful this was, Ragatha's passed out on the floor, and Zubul and Pomni are left to clean up. She just looks defeated. Her whole world feels like it's crashing. And then...
You know, I can close for you if you want.
By the end of the shift, Jax tells her how awful this was, Ragatha's passed out on the floor, and Zubul and Pomni are left to clean up. She just looks defeated. Her whole world feels like it's crashing. And then... this last scene, this is just another clue that there is no escape for these people. Who knows what life is like outside of the circus? I have an idea, but I don't even think it's important to talk about. Which brings us to the end of the episode. Gangle is crying, and Zooble, the best they-them in the entire circus, comes over to comfort them and reassure to Gangle that no one hates them. They all still love her. She still likes her art and want her to come back over and hang out with the rest of the group. There's another moment that I want to talk about. After Gangle tortures Jax, he lays his head on the counter and starts talking to Pomni like they've always been cool. This is not normal for the otherwise uncaring rabbit. He's trying to reach out, but doesn't seem to know how anymore. Let's see where this goes when we enter episode 5. In episode 5, Zooble makes Gangle a plate of food, and Jax looks up and goes,
Here.
Thanks.
Do you think Gangle is actually capable of being happy?
This even confusing Pomni, not the general question itself, just Jax in general, why he is the one asking at all. We saw this before, Pomni being suspicious of Jax, literally trying to figure out why Jax cares. She thought he didn't care about what other people think. Pomni then asks, do you have any actual friends? Not in a way to hurt him, but as a way of asking if he is in need of a friend. But Ragatha...
Not anymore. Oh.
Holy fucking shit. Like being shot in the heart and unlocking a new emotion, and that emotion was livid. The musing cuts, and for a split second, everything Jax has been keeping down boils over to the surface, but doesn't quite explode yet. That's for later. As soon as Pomni tries asking about it, Jax goes back to his normal self. But for another moment, we get to see how Jax really feels.
Loved and appreciated every day, it just kind of loses all meaning. It just feels like she's trying to take advantage of you, you know? I don't know.
He tells everyone exactly how he feels. He doesn't think any of this is legitimate, and all of the affection is made up too. It's all just another made-up part of this world. The one real part of the world he keeps shutting out. And then we have this. Probably the most talked about scene of all time, the intermission.
One intermission.
Intermission time.
I think if Gummy Goo tells the first part of the story, this tells the ending. Everything from the TV turning on, to Pomni and Jax, both of our main characters getting hit with bowling balls, to Ragatha and Gangle being hit with cakes, to Kinger catching the bowling ball just before getting knocked off at the last second by a black chess piece. All of this shows how the story is going to end. Jax and Pomni are going to keep pushing until something happens. Ragatha and Gangle are going to, I want to say, just accept what they're going to go through. And while Kinger is going to fight back, there is a piece of the circus that is still keeping him. I'm not actually sure where Zooble is here. I guess that's an important thing to think about for later, but I don't actually have any way to bring it up. So, just Zooble's missing, but Jax seeing his missing friends. But wait, Who is that in the middle? Is that Abel? What does Jack's friends have to do with Abel? Is this Caine planting the seeds of doubt in Jack's head? Let's keep looking. The next scene that I want to bring up is the bar scene. Besides giving us a few key details about everyone's backstory, except Jack's, we are introduced to the most important character in the entire series. Disappearing guy. Jax does something kind of weird in this moment. He dissociates, but then he apologizes to Pomni and pretends they're all buddy-buddy. And this seems to piss off Ragatha. But also I think this is a genuine attempt to make another friend. Then we get a bunch of references from past episodes, frustrations, and overall just some good character interactions. This is the point of the amazing digital circus. Connection. Good. It's about to get a whole lot worse from here, because we are about to dive into the Big Tops versus the evil Big Tops. Everyone has realized that the evil Big Tops are just the polar opposites of each character, but there are two in particular that I really want to focus on. Evil Jax and Coach Dictatorer. Evil Jax highlights all of Jax's insecurity when being around people. Meaning well, wanting everyone to have a good time, but also not trying to include on anyone's space, because he is afraid of, well, everything that comes with connection. And then there's Coach Dictatorer, who always struck me as odd. I mean, Evil Orbsman is odd, but this just didn't feel right. The opposite of a king isn't a dictator, the opposite of a king is his people. So what does Kinger do almost every time he's alone with someone? He makes them feel better. He gives them hope. Ragatha or Pomni, doesn't matter. He inspires them. But maybe that's because he didn't do that before everything. Maybe he was a dictator. Or maybe it would be more accurate to call him a manager. Maybe that's why he changed. Maybe it was because of his wife and the loss.
I'm saying.
Ah, she's cool. Wait, what's that? What the heck? Who did this? You!
This moment says so much about this character. He has been the one in control. He's been the one having fun, poking fun at others and making everyone else the butt of his joke. But the moment it got turned around on him, he throws a temper tantrum and gets red in the face. And the moment he gets out of it, he takes it out on the literal embodiment of his insecurities. This moment says so much about Jax. His mental state, his processing, everything about him. Nothing is real to him except his control, because he doesn't want it to be. And the moment he's not in control, it's not okay for him. Let's see how that spirals in the next episode. Episode 6. Everyone gets guns.
Wait, what am I doing? I wasn't paying attention. Oh.
So yeah, there isn't a whole lot to talk about outside of the ending and the favorite character awards. I do want to touch on this scene that reinforces Jack's need for control, Ragatha actually getting the jump on him by applying the weird cartoon logic that seems to be everywhere, actually getting a life off on Jax. Then he snaps, gunning her down until he runs out of ammo and then keeps trying. This is someone on the verge of a breakdown, and when he finally does fully snap.
Because I didn't fight back, that means I secretly care about you? I'm just a misunderstood little chicken fetus in an egg that needs to be cracked open. Well, I am not. I do not care about you or anyone else in this circus in the slightest. End of story. You are my playthings, and I get joy out of making you suffer. I'm the one who causes pain for fun. If I led you on, it was just to make this part hurt you more. Fuck. There's nothing more to me. So please, just stop looking.
After Jax and Pomni win, Pomni tries to hug him, but Jax shoves her off, then stares at his own hand, like he doesn't even know why he did it. And when Pomni tries to laugh it off, Jax shuts her out completely, and then full-blown snaps at her. He doesn't even believe the words that are coming out of his mouth, as you see here. Which all leads to the climax of the episode. Jax almost abstracting in the bathroom. This is a moment of realization. A moment when you realize that everything around you is real. And you are completely alone. There are 3 other moments I want to focus on in this episode that didn't really fit into the narrative plot of Jax, but does fit into the overarching narrative of connection that I am trying to build. And that is Zooble and Gangle, along with Ragatha and Kinger, and Pomni and Jax. Before the fight. Zooble and Gangle. How do you love the part of yourself that no one else does? Because it exists. It's real. The only you that you should care about is the real you. You still have the choice to love yourself. It is just as important as loving everyone else. There's no point in fighting against things that you can't control. Kinger and Ragatha. Caring for someone doesn't always mean being nice to them. Sometimes it means those real emotions that really get to people. Sometimes people need more than kindness. They need realism. Someone to tell them that it's not going to be okay, but at least we still have us. Sometimes you just have to let things go their own way. As long as you're still there when they need you, everything will be okay. Jax and Pomni, you're taking things too seriously. Jax is almost completely right here. Everyone holds on to the part of them that is still human, that real part. But some try too hard and end up pushing away everything that is real. The amazing digital circus operates off of imagination. If you don't want to hurt someone, even your bullets will bounce off. But if you want your bullets to bounce off 6 walls and still hit your target, as long as you think you can, you can. Because nothing is real except what you make it. The only real thing is the connections we have. The only real thing is us. So what happens when someone pushes all of that away? What happens when someone pushes everything real until they are completely alone?
See how many of them voted for me.
Enter episode 7. Let's shift our focus back to the hidden 3rd main character of the show, Caine.
My name is Caine!
Where all of the more on that laters come together, Caine has been slowly but surely losing it over the course of the 8 episodes, which is why the title of each episode has been slowly but surely becoming more and more deranged, until it's just keyboard smash. Caine is a creative AI built to make his own ideas and thoughts, but something went wrong. He was never given any ideas on what humans look like, feel like, sound like. Just vague images and background photos of humans, but never full pictures. He also longs for this connection, but can't understand why or how. So he thinks it is worship and not friendship.
Ah, you must be the brave knight sent to us by God to help us with our recent catastrophe.
Being alone causes problems, but Caine doesn't have time for problems.
Hey!
Alternatively, I don't got to explain diddly squat.
Can you just give us some time to process everything?
Or how about we skip the melodrama and get right to the fun?
So today he wants to put them to the test. He wants to see if they would really leave him if they had the opportunity. So he sets up an elaborate plan through influencing Jax, planting small seeds of doubt in his mind until boom! Jax makes a decision that changes everything. These are the spoils that he didn't want Pomni to see. The fact that once again, all of this was just going to be another adventure. Jax makes the choice to keep everyone locked in here, a selfish choice. A split between the connection he needs to survive and the seeds of doubt in his head. This changes everything. Not only did Caine have access to their mind files this entire time, he can alter and manipulate them whenever he chooses. Now, I'm not saying that this is what causes people to abstract. What I am saying is Caine is causing these severs in connection. The very thing these people need to stay alive is being with each other, and yet, at every opportunity, Caine wants to put them against each other, because he doesn't understand the difference between connection and conflict.
I can't tell a compelling story where nothing bad happens. Where's the intrigue, the stakes?
Not to mention the sex appeal.
This all accumulates into episode 8. Pomni suggests that we should give up, trying to find an exit, and that line shows up again. Trying to chase an unattainable goal will only drive you crazy. Before we get to the absolute crash out that is Caine, we got a moment between Caine and Bubble that really sheds so much light on what all of this really is.
I do everything for these people. I slave over these adventures for them. I step outside my comfort zone to appeal to them, and they still hate them. I made a program that creates a body perfectly encapsulating their mind files, and they hate those too. I'm starting to get the feeling that they just hate.
Why would they hate you when they could just hate you?
This is why I was created. This is my function.
They'd rather abstract than go on your adventures.
That can't be true. I do everything for them. Don't they get that I'm trying?
Maybe you're just genuinely bad at this.
Shut up! No. I fixed that. I can solve any problem. I can solve this one. That's what this is. A big puzzle that I need to solve.
Defective.
Shut up!
Broken. Hungry.
Enough!
Maybe you deserved to be abandoned. You really were the lesser of the two. You ruined this.
You really were the lesser of the two. Caine was meant to make paradise. I think that's what Scratch's plan really was. A man with a tumor in his head who wanted a way to live longer. But something went fundamentally wrong with the way Caine was programmed. He was programmed without any knowledge of what people are or even look like. At the very beginning of the episode, we get to see most of the things that Caine was used when he was created. Photos, images, things you can recreate other images with. That is what a creative AI is. It is recreation. However, Caine was not given the proper tools. in which he needed to create people or store important memories. All he had were these mind files, so he made bodies that perfectly encapsulated these. Their strengths, their flaws, their insecurities, their perfections, all of it. Copied and made 1,000 times worse or better, which brings me to this moment. Caine's torture. At this point, Caine has had it with not understanding these humans and has gone full tyrant, leaving them no choice but to either shut him down or disable him. However, Kinger does the unthinkable, accidentally deleting Caine, and yet Caine just wants to understand why he couldn't make them happy. Why nothing he did was ever good enough. That's why at the end of his rant, he asked them,
Why do you people torment me? I didn't have to be created. I just wanted to fulfill my purpose.
He never asked to be born. None of us do. And now he's being punished for not understanding and not being good enough. I'm pretty sure you can relate. Caine is pretty much a victim just as much as the rest of them. And now he's gone because he was alone. At the very beginning of the episode, it doesn't start with everyone shunning Jax like they should, but instead they question him first. Zubul goes to shun him, but Gangle comes in with some words of wisdom. Zubul gets upset, but finally understands, and when Jax goes to leave, Zubul is instead the one telling him to come back. That we won't abstract as long as we stay together.
We're all in this together.
And we'll always be in this together. No matter what.
Hey. That includes you too.
Huh?
Listen, we're not gonna have you wandering off alone somewhere and abstracting or something. You're a pain in the ass, but you're still one of us.
And this truly moves Jax forward, even if he doesn't want to admit it right now. This story is about the friends we have and how we need to cherish them for our own survival. I think the same thing that happened to Caine would have happened to Jax if not for this moment. Which leaves the burning question. What now?
Holy shit.
Well, I think that's the point. The world, the adventures, the stimuli, all dead with Caine. So, all that is left is our main cast. And while Kinger just explained that everyone has access to this imagination-based power system, it's pretty much the only reason the circus is still around and everyone isn't dead after Caine died. What they choose to do with this power will dictate their very existence. The only real thing left is connection, friendship, and compassion for one another. The amazing digital circus, unironically, was the friends we made along the way. There is no escape, but that's the point. It's okay that there's no happy ending, because we still have each other. And at the end of the day, is there anything more real than that? Thank you all for watching to the very end. This is after editing, after everything, after... Basically, this is as close to me as you can get, 0, before I upload this video. This has taken so long. I have had to restart this fucking video 3 times. I've had to restart 3 times. It took me 2.5 weeks just to write the script. Like, I didn't know I wasn't built for this, but apparently I wasn't. But I want to keep doing it because this has been the most work that I've put into a single video. And I'm pretty damn proud of it. Basically the lesson is the amazing digital circus is just the friends we made along the way. And I mean that literally. Thank you all for watching. Please support me in any way you can by liking, subscribing, literally anything. Leave your comments on what you think is going to happen during the last episode. Or come follow me over on the Twitch where I do all of my gaming streams. Other than that, I am out.